In better terms, is the duty of the property owner or manager relative to those on the land. One very important thing about premises liability is that the status of the injured party determines which duty of care is owed to each. What does that one mean? The second question there is, who are they and what duty of care is owed? So what those two questions mean? What do you think the answer to those two questions would be? We did see a little bit of this again during the negligence conversation.
Would it be like the invitee or the lead?
Exactly. So what it's saying is kind of like the status is kind of like the status for the people there. And the statuses is exactly what Ray is saying. We kind of talked about how depending on the status that they are in our facility, then duty of care is going to be owed, again, depending on that, right? So there are several different ones, but especially in sport, in the sport industry, there are what we call the big three in premises liability, right? So the first one is the invitee. And we know that they are invitees because they are there without our permission. And they are bringing in what is called pecuniary benefit. And pecuniary benefit is economic benefit, meaning they are paying to be there. They are paying a ticket, they are paying an entrance fee, they are paying. And so we are benefiting economically from their presence. So the duty that you owe to this segment is to refrain from mere negligence, right? So that means that it's kind of the higher standard of care that you owe. Then the second group or the second status is that of licensee. They are in your premises with your permission, but they are not bringing in economic benefits. So they are utilizing your facilities, but they are not really paying for it. An example of this is, like you allow your local high school volleyball team to utilize your facilities during the cold weather for their practices, right? They are there with your permission, but you are not really charging them to utilize those volleyball courts or the facilities in general, right? So the duty is to refrain from reckless misconduct in this case. So you shouldn't be just, reckless when you are setting up for them or any of that deal, right? And then the third one is the trespasser, in which they don't really have permission to be there. No. Nor do they have business to be there, pretty much. And so you don't owe duty to them unless what doctrine kicks in? Attractive nuance doctrine, right? So you don't really owe them any duty unless the attractive nuisance doctrine kicks in. And the attractive nuisance doctrine is what, Mariah?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what you were saying. Minors.
Yes,
I'm
it's
trying to
about.
figure out what you said. That's why I'm crazy.
Okay, so it's the minors, that's right. When the doctrine that says that little kids or minors are going to be attracted to playgrounds, and that they are not mature enough to recognize that they're actually trespassing, right? So, and then we have the recreational user, and that pretty much is the one that we also discussed in one of the defenses that has to do with when somebody allows people to utilize their underdeveloped land for recreational purposes, right? So we'll discuss those in more length in a minute here. So the first one is the duty that is owed towards the invitee. So for these people, the owner or the operator of the facility must protect the invitee from unreasonable risks. They have to free the premises of known defects as well as defects which should have been discovered. And when we talk about this part here, defects that should have been discovered, what we mean by that is that they should have been discovered upon casual inspection, right? So in other words, you do have that duty to go around the facility and checking for, dangers that, defects that casual inspection would alert you of. And then the last piece of there, you also have to make sure that you avoid acts that can create risk for this group of people that are in the facility. It's the highest degree of duty out of the big three that we just saw. And and the reason for this is because actually we are profiting from these people. So we have to refrain from mere negligence. Right? So the duty to invitee is essentially to, one, inspect the premises for hazards. Make sure that that there are no nails lying around when people are trying to, they might get, those nails in the food or things like that. Remove or repair dangerous conditions.
Bless you. Bless you.
Remove or repair dangerous conditions. If there is an open electrical, grate around, you kind of want to cover that. What you mentioned first, is it David back there? David, right? What David said about like the wet floor thing, you make sure that you mop it up, you make sure that you put signs, that type of idea, right? So remove or repair dangerous conditions. And then make the facility reasonably safe is the third one. Make the facility reasonably safe. And then the fourth one is make sure that you warn of hidden dangers. Make sure that you warn of hidden dangers. And what would a hidden danger be? Like an example of it. Yes.
I used to work in retail and something that kept happening in every store I worked in was loose tiles on the floor that we wouldn't expect. So we always make sure the cones and stuff on top of them.
Yeah. So that's a great example, right? I mean, something like that, and Amy just mentioned something that is part of the rationale why this is the case, right? Is something that you wouldn't expect, right? She's talking about loosened, what do you call it? The tiles, the floor tiles, right? You walk into this room or any other room or a gym room, and you don't expect the floor to just move around or to, be slippery or anything like that, right? Or the tiles to be loose, right? So hidden danger, nobody expected, you warn of it, right? Make sure, hey, this area, you put a cone, you put a sign, avoid this. There's a hole here, construction is going on during the facility, and they open a hole in the middle of, or in a corner in an alley or something like that. Again, something that people don't expect, you make sure that and it's a hidden danger, people don't expect it, you make sure that they kind of know about it, right? So that's the reasoning for it. Questions or comments about the duty owed to the invitees? Yes?
What was the one right before warn of hidden dangers?
That one is make the facility reasonably safe. Make this a facility reasonably safe. Alright, so it's 4 of them, right? 2 are on the screen, the other 2 I mentioned. Make the facility reasonably safe and warn of hidden danger. Alright? So the owner is not liable if the danger is open and obvious, right? Owner is protected from liability if the danger is an open and obvious one. Open and obvious nature of the dangerous situation serves as a warning to the invitee. So the person is expected to recognize the danger just by looking at it pretty much, and then protect themselves from injury. Does this one make sense? Yes.
This was like another one I had to deal with. I worked at Safeway, but I always felt like it was a gray area because something I routinely did was knock icicles off the store when it was snowing, and I felt like if you're out and it's snowing, you should know there might be stuff falling from the sky.
Right.
But it was like also like I wouldn't want some old lady to get hit, so I'd go knock them down. But it was kind of like a gray area. I felt like because you could probably make an argument that it's open and obvious.
Right.
So it's I could see somebody saying it's a hidden danger.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see like a skillful attorney trying to, say, hey, what's open and obvious. But I don't know. But I feel like, and this is just me, so this is nothing that you need to quote, or this is just my personal opinion. I feel like in that particular example, like as individuals, we go around like looking forward and be around, but very, very seldomly we go looking up, right? And well, yeah, like we know it's snowing and all of that, and that it's cold, but we still are not kind of looking up for dangers like that, right? So I think that more open and obvious when I think about it is more like what is in our, frontal vision, peripheral vision, like, what we can see. Does that make any sense? Again, I can see the argument for, hey, you should have expected, and, but like you were saying, it's kind of, it sounds like a gray area. I will probably give the benefit to the person that got injured in that situation. But it's probably just me. Just because, again, I don't feel like people go looking up like that. Anybody has like a strong opinion about the other side of the argument? Like you would actually just think, hey, you should have looked. Huh? Winter time? Yeah, no, I mean that's an argument. That's obviously where people would say, hey, you have to be careful because it's winter time, right? I mean, just like driving on the. Yes, right.
I feel like it would fall under the store though, because it's simply like they're gonna put wet floor signs up if it's snowing, like at the entrance. It falls on the store, so like an old lady was to be injured, that would still fall on the store.
Yeah.
Because it would be like their issues not what would be common regardless if it's snowing or not.
Yeah.
Like that would be all on the store.
Yeah, it seems to me like, yeah, like it would be, I know that you did it because you wanted to do it, because you didn't want somebody to get hit. Like, it should be kind of a store policy going on, just like,
It's tall enough, so I can.
exactly. Just like us citizens are required to do the sidewalk when there's snow. Is it the sidewalk or the driveway, right? The
Shovel sidewalk?
Yeah, so you are called to do that just because of dozen reasons, the store should be responsible for making sure that doesn't happen. But maybe it's just my perspective, my opinion. All right, so now we understand the open and hidden obvious notion, but how do we know? And that's actually what is going to complement your comment, David. So how do we know when the danger is open and obvious? So David's motioning is obvious, it's right there, you cannot miss it. And that's pretty much it, right? But we also have, well, when it comes to the legal system, we have that test that we already mentioned before in negligence. And the test is that of the reasonable, prudent person, right? So it's pretty much what they are going to look at is, would a reasonable, prudent person would have foreseen that this was dangerous situation, right? That like I have that example of those bleachers there, right? That wasn't safe to engage with or to sit on those bleachers, So what the reasonable prudent person would have done in the same situation with the same facts. Does that make any sense? So it pretty much says that the average user with ordinary intelligence would have been able to discover the danger and the risk presented upon casual inspection, right? So that's kind of the standard that we kind of go by to determine if the danger was open and obvious. Does that make any sense? Does that help a little bit with the with that other example? So again, is if the reasonable prudent person in the same position would have kind of foreseen. Questions, comments about that? Alright, we'll move on as soon as they finish. So the next,
We go back 5 seconds.
alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm kidding, of course.
We're good, thank you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't want to pressure you. You
No,
can-
you're good, I got it now.
All right. I felt that. I was like, what am I doing? All right. So the next one is the next person, the next category, the next status rather, is that of licensee. And we say allowed or tolerated on property, pretty much allowed, right? You're pretty much giving them permission, but they don't bring economic benefit. We already established that one. The only duty the operator owes to this person is ordinary care, right? And what does ordinary care mean? In this case, so ordinary care here is saying that the only duty that you owe to this person is to warning of danger that may not be obvious to them, right? Remember that with the invitee, you're actually told to go and keep the environment safe, the place reasonably safe, to make sure that you did that casual inspection to kind of detect any dangers, you know, that you discover under casual inspection, that you warning of hidden in obvious dangers, of hidden dangers rather. Here, all you have to do is to make sure that things that you think they might not be able to discover, that you let them know, hey, I don't know, make sure that you don't utilize the equipment on room A because it's a little bit, you know, under, I don't know, maintenance, right? Things like that, right? So it's things that they wouldn't be able to discover. You don't have to actually actively go and like with the invitee, you know, look for the dangers for them and kind of being so meticulous about it. Does that make any sense? Like the two differences between the two? All right. Just making sure that you see that there is a certain degree of difference between the two, right? You are owing more duty to the first one, to the invitee, to the licensee, right? That's what we said. On the invitee, you owe mere negligence to refrain from mere negligence. Here, what you owe is to refrain from reckless misconduct, right? So it's kind of goes a little bit down. And then the third one was that of the trespasser. A trespasser is a person who enters the premise without permission of the operator. Again, they're there without your permission. You don't owe any duty to this person, except that you have to refrain yourself from going out of your way to cause harm to this person. So you see kind of like the difference, right? You don't really owe him any duty, except that you shouldn't go out of your way to harm these people either.
I know you said that a minor is protected. Is that like
And then-
below 18?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, below 18. And then that's my second, what I was gonna say about the trespassers. So no duty is owed to them unless the attractive nuisance doctrine kicks in. And that's when the trespasser is a minor, and then they become invitees. Remember that part, right? You remember that from the previous conversation. And the doctrine says that because they're minors, they're not mature enough to know right from wrong, and you know, they become invitees. So the duty of care that you owe to those that are minors when they trespass is pretty much the highest duty of care owed to anyone.
But that's only if something is there potentially enticing someone, like it's not like teens breaking into a place are automatically protected under.
And that's kind of the tricky thing, because minor is still 17, but I'm pretty sure that the courts are gonna look at it just like you did, like you explained to us, right? One thing is a little kid that actually doesn't know any better, pretty much, than, again, somebody who's 17, 16, and is just being mischievous, or, you know, who knows what. So I'm pretty sure that the courts are gonna do it differently. The lawyer, however, you know, is going to utilize the minor doctrine notion as a defense, right? Oh, well, he or she is still a minor and whatnot, but, you know, hopefully the jury will kind of be persuaded that, hey, you know, not so fast, kind of thing. But the law is the law, right? If it's a minor, it becomes a minor, right? And then the recreational user statutes. This one is pretty much telling us that when it comes to premises, and we already kind of saw all of this in the previous conversation that we have about defenses. But here we're seeing it from the perspective of premises liability, right? So the landowner is protected. Immunity protection targeted towards private landowners. They cannot charge for a fee for individuals within the premises. So we already saw this one, right? When the landowner should allow the people to use it for free, pretty much, right? And it only applies for an improved and undeveloped rural land that is retained in its natural condition. And here, the only duty that the landowner owes to those who use their property for recreational purposes is to warn of any known dangers that are concealed or that are hidden from the users, right? And like, you know, we have in the picture, you know, people riding their bikes on this piece of land, you know, and they don't know that, you know, half a mile down the road there is a little turn that kind of a dips, or there is a whole, you know, that type of idea, right? Or there is some branches have fallen and whatnot. So it's that type of warning that they owe to those people, right? Make sure that you know that coming up there is something going on, right? But there are two-pronged analysis to determine if recreational user statute applies, meaning that it kind of covers the landowner from premises liability. The first one is whether the activity is a recreational activity. So again, if people are doing it for leisure purposes only. And the second one is that that land is actually suited for that type of activity. If those two prongs are met, then, you know, the landowner is protected or immune from liability. Okay? Yes.
Can I ask you a question about the case study?
Yes, of course.
The first thing on it is date filed and date of decision, but there's only one date at the top. Does it matter? Which date is that?
Right. Hold on. There are two dates in there. You can find them there. There are three. Actually, there are 3 dates.
Appeals dates that were denied.
There are 3 dates. One is when it's filed, one is when it happened, I think, and then one is when I was what do you call it? The decision was made. So I can assure you that the dates are there.
Okay.
So the dates are there.
Huh?
So the dates are there.
They are there. You just have to kind of go back and really
Okay.
look at it. And yeah, there are 3 dates. And a lot of people get confused with the date of the incident. So just be warned about that. So people put the date of the incident and the date.
There's 4.
There are 4 days, yeah. So well, I mean, there are. I mean, I know that the dates are there. The dates that I'm asking you for are there. Does that make any sense?
I thought it was the same.
I don't have.
So we need to
the-
write down 4 separate dates.
No, there's 4 dates in there that it's saying that we only
Yeah,
have
the
to.
top
Oh,
date
thank
is
you.
like
Figure
April.
out whatever, and then there's like dates that the appeals was denied. That's all I can find as far as dates, but if you say for now,
They are there. Let me see.
Let's just have it due on Monday next week.
Mhm. The- Alright, so that's when
So it's like 2 years after.
the dates are there. Which one are you having a hard time?
Date 5.
All right. It was April 14, 1976.
that's the files.
Yeah.
Date filed is what?
The date of the decision.
That sounds fun. Can't wait to start it.
It's actually like pretty good.
I know.
So the date of the filing is April, which is kind of on the it's like the 4th line.
Isn't that just dated?
And then the decision is when it was denied on July 1976. Parliament, yeah, 1976. Remember that the decision can be accepted or, you know.
I get it now.
Yeah.
The date of decision was when?
July 1st.
July 1st, 1976.
Thank you.
The date files when it was filed. Like,
Yeah, which was April 14th.
I thought it was when you filed the complaint, but that's the date filed.
Oh.
Even before you go to court. I thought that's what it is. I know.
Yeah, which was in April 14th, 1940, April 14th.
No, I think I'm just getting confused, you're right. I think
But that's when the day that you file is when you take it to, when they actually receive your documents or your complaint. That's the day that you file, right? And in this case, it happened on April 14th, 1976. And then the final decision came down, well, they had like a hearing first in May, and then the final decision came in July. So it went like from April to July pretty much. And then, but we do have another day that is when the incident happened, which was like 2 years prior to that, in 1974. Yes, David.
So you go off the date when you file the paper when they stamp it?
Yeah, yeah, and it's usually on a court case, it's usually gonna be, on that like 4th line, right? All right, so that out of the way. You good? Everybody good? Lynn? Are you sure?
Yeah, it's fine, I'll ask you all.
You can, you can ask me after. On what? On the
That's the window, right?
slide?
Yeah, this one's like.
Oh, I can move you, right there?
I can see just
Oh.
the previous ones.
Oh, the previous one. That one?
Are we supposed to make the title page of this? Yeah,
Practice
answer all these
slide. Oh,
questions.
God.
I have no idea. That's what I'm gonna ask him next.
David?
So I have a question about this one. So, private landowner, if somebody wants to go hunting on their land, they can't charge them?
They cannot charge it if they're expecting to be immune from liability of whatever happened to those people where they're hunting in the property. If they charge, then their status is different, right? They'll be profiting from the activity, and so it's a whole different set of standards and expectations and regulations, and so they would actually start actually owing all those duties, duty of care that we just mentioned for the invitees. So kind of the dynamics changes if they charge. It's a business now, they are profiting from it. Those people there are now invitees, they have certain duties that they owe to these people.
So that person wants a receipt for paying.
Say that again?
I said that person wants a receipt for paying.
Is that, well, yeah, most likely, yeah. And then, just the whole thing changes. As the landowner, you are not immune from liability anymore,
Okay.
right? Yeah. And I saw your hand.
Are you
Yes.
gonna ask, the case studies due in like hard copy, we're gonna?
Yes, yes.
It's not on blackboard?
No, it's not a blackboard. Yeah, so that's a pretty good question. The case summary is due on Wednesday as a hard copy, right, at the beginning of the class. All right, so you finished?
Yeah.
All right, that one, everybody got their notes on that one. Some additional doctrines. We're gonna use our minutes. We had the distraction doctrine. There will be still liability if danger isn't open and obvious. Here's like all things being equal, you as the operator shouldn't contribute to the distraction of the owner or the participant. Because if you do, even if you have instructed them that something was there, but then you distract them, you're still gonna be liable, right? So you cannot distract the participant when they're trying to pretty much take care of themselves, right? If you do, then you become liable for their injuries. The second one there we have already discussed in previous chapters is the attractive nuisance doctrine, and it pretty much says that minors become invitee from trespasser, and this is the rationale for it. They're not sure enough, and they're going to be attracted to claim, and that type of idea, right? Anybody good with those two?
No.
All right. Alright, and during the last minute, we're gonna see at the baseball rule